Hello, it's Nikki and welcome back to Wednesday, where I talk about visibility and showing up and content and sales and getting yourself out there and it not feeling icky and it all being great and okay and profitable and all these things. Today I want to talk about sales calls. And I don't just want to talk about sales calls in that kind of, I got them on a call and I nailed it and I converted them and I turned a lead into a sale. I know from my own portfolio career, essentially ways you get paid, ways you make a sale, ways you get booked. I'm talking all about this. And there have been, over the last 25 years that I've been working in this space, so many different ways that I have been hired for work. And it's really interesting because sometimes there is no rhyme or reason. And it's so cool and annoyingly unpredictable sometimes. So let me give you the juice behind the scenes. There have been calls, meetings, opportunities where I have come out of that moment, and not in this kind of smug way, but had that inner satisfaction, joy, knowing this is a winner. This is gonna go, this is perfect. I cannot wait to begin this job. And then ghosted, never heard from again. The thing doesn't happen. This client who was like, I want to do all of these things, they don't then reply to an email. And I'm just like, whoa, this is so confusing. I've also had the opposite, where I have had people come out of the blue where I didn't even know that they knew about my work. And they have come and offered me a straight offer. No meeting, no conversation, 2, maybe 3 emails just to work out the logistics, and the job's done. And some of those paid jobs have been some of the most profitable contracts throughout my whole career. And to the point where I've come away from those going, did that just happen? That felt really easy. That was strange, wasn't it? I mean, lovely strange, but strange nonetheless. So what I want to do today is take this more holistic approach to sales calls. And maybe, we can talk about how to lead them another time. I talk about this a lot in Your Digital Disco, actually. So if you want to find out more about that, check it out, because there are 3 ways that you can join. Here we go. Here are 5 things you can take to your journal today and just explore how you want to do things. So the first thing, and I guess my business is slightly different because sometimes I'm hired as a service, essentially, or one-to-one support. Sometimes I am hired as an actor. So, I'm very much in the mix, and it's not, I was going to say it's not personal. It is personal, but I'm a very sort of small thing in a big pond. Whereas when I'm hired for one-to-one stuff, it's very much more aligned. It's about the relationship and it's about that moment. But generally, I want you to think about the words that you want to use to describe you being hired. So whether that's as a service, whether that's you making a sale, etc. So here are some of the things that I put down. I want it to be mutually beneficial. I love that moment where I've had an interaction, I've done some work, and I've come away going, wow, what a great day. I've really enjoyed doing that. Wasn't that fantastic? What a lovely group of people. Thank you very much for paying the invoice so smoothly. Great. No complaints. 10 out of 10. And I also want whoever I'm working with to go, God, you know what, Nikki, this is brilliant. I'm so glad that we met. I'm so glad that I decided to do this for myself. I'm so glad that I invested the money in this way. Like, I just want that lovely, lovely flow. I also want it to be easeful. Now, of course, get contracts in place, make things binding, make things official, not just a little conversation in DMs, but have ease with it, have expansion with it, have that sense of we're all working towards the same thing. And equally, we know when we've worked with people and sometimes it's been prickly or hard work or unpredictable or drama filled, and I just don't want that. I love that ease. So often that means as well, I put principles in place and boundaries and processes and all of those things, because that ease is really important to me. I want it to be aligned. I really want to have that sense that we're on the same page here so we can manage the expectations. I also want to be useful. This is really important to me. I don't want to just go and like coast or just hang out. I want to be useful. I want people to have a good experience of me. I want people to take away something. I also want it to be smooth and expansive. So I love doing a piece of work where it gives me that real nudge of, ooh, so you could do X, Y, and Z. I actually had that work with a client the other day where I was helping them do something that was on my vision board. And that was really interesting. So I didn't need to have done it before helping this person, but I really dug into that whole process of like, oh my goodness, this feels like a lovely practice run or another kind of way of doing it. And it was just that sense of I'm on my way, I'm getting closer to what it is that I want. And I feel like that's going to happen for me because it's happened in another weird and wonderful way. So but actually by the time it happens to me, it's not going to feel scary. I can't tell you what it was for confidentiality reasons, but yeah, it was really, really interesting. So that's the first exercise. Write down all of the words. The second thing, you can only do what you can. You can only do what you can, but you can set the standards. So there are rules that I have for myself, standards that I have when I go on a call or I go to pitch or I have a meeting. I set the standards for myself. I'm on time, I'm prepared, I've researched, I'm ready to go, I've had different alternatives, I've left whatever's going on at home or in my life, I've parked it for the duration of this meeting, so they're going to get the best of me. And there will be some people who won't do any of those things. They will come on your free call and want the moon on a stick and not be ready and be underprepared and all of the things. None of that, in a way, is your concern. And I think that we have to really be grounded in how we do things. Because the amount of times, especially in my early career, if somebody wasn't ready or if somebody wanted to reschedule or somebody hadn't picked a good time for them, and so they were like doing all the other things, I'd be like, oh, don't worry, let's reschedule, let's do all these things. And now I'm much more solid in the way that I do things. So I want you to think about what are your standards? What's going to make you feel good so you can do your best work in a way that feels great. Number 3, prepare for the maximum effect. So I am always thinking about how I can prepare people in advance so people even know that I'm available. And that's why I put so much effort into my free content, my Substack, my YouTube, my Instagram, going to have meetings with people, have coffees, have Zoom catch-ups, all of these things. Because for me, it's always such a great use of my time creating these things. Because that way people can get to know me. And I can sit in that place of wanting to create rather than convince. I've never wanted to convince. I just want to create and show people what I can do. And if they like it, great. And if they don't, they can move on. That's okay as well. Number 4, I want you to prepare people for the reality of the weather. And I think sometimes this sense of keeping everything buoyant, keeping everything really, really positive, keeping everything light is sometimes doing the process a disservice. So what can happen is people are we'll figure it out on the day. It will all be okay. Everyone's very breezy and like, we'll just wing it. We'll figure it out. And actually, if you can put these things in place and prepare people in advance, they can then self-select once again, are they right and ready for this opportunity? So this is what I mean by this. If I was sending my kid on a school trip, and we were talking about this the other day, because my kids' school, they do one of those residentials for 5 days when they're in year 6. And I was thinking, my kid is really self-sufficient. He's really good at communicating. He knows the things. But I was thinking, as a parent, I would want to have a list of all the things that they need. I wouldn't want to just send my kid on a residential and go, oh, don't worry, we'll figure it out. If they are taking him to somewhere where it's really muddy, I want to know that in advance so we can pack wellies. All of these sorts of things. And so when it comes to my coaching work, for example, I'm always very upfront about things like, this is what the price is. This is what it looks like. This is going to be the process. This is not for you if ... This is absolutely for you if you can't make a decision, this is what you do next, etc. So I really want you to think about, are you selling and are you setting people up for interactions with you? And this is not just about getting people on calls. You actually want to get people on calls, of course you do, but you want people to be the right people. And so by the time people come to you with an offer, with a proposal, whatever it might be, then it's going to be a fit for them. Number 5, show you're ready first. Show you're ready first. Expand and hold that space. So I imagine this would be like going on a date. You don't want to approach a date going, right, there are 3 potential people on my Facebook and I'm going to zoom in on those 3 people and hone in on them and really work out which of those 3 it might be. Because not all 3 of those people might be like, no, I'm married, or no, I'm not interested. No. And so instead, if you were dating, having a more open-minded of like, I could walk down the street and meet the person of my dreams now. It's kind of like that with your sales, with welcoming people in. You have to, as Daniel Priestley says, have that with or without you energy. You have to say, I'm doing this. I'm doing this anyway. This is the kind of person that I am. This is the kind of work that I do. You have to show you're ready first. You can't just put up a one thing on your website and go, nobody's coming, nobody's buying. You have to get excited. And sometimes that's beginning the conversation right there. So what are you going to do? How are you going to get started? If you want help, go to your digital disco. I will leave the links down below. If you want help with speaking and talking to wider audiences and visibility and content, go to Speak Up. Again, there are 3 ways to join. You can find out all the details down below. Or if you want to set up a chat with me and you'd prefer to do this one-on-one over a strategy session, let's do it. Send me a message and we'll go from there. Lots of love. Bye.